This is New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News. With Bill Vitter and Liz Cho. Rob Powers with sports. And Lee Goldberg with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News at 6.
A wrong-way crash in New Jersey, a horrific accident that leaves one person dead. And the question tonight, what caused the driver to lose control? But first, a mother's sorrow.
I just ask God, please, to stop this, please.
Anger and profound grief tonight over the senseless murder of a teenager working in his family's bodega. And good evening to you at 6 o'clock. I'm Liz Chow.
And I'm Bill Ritter. He was just 19, a young father, but also a son working in his parents' bodega. An apparent robbery attempt turning into murder. Senseless and cold-blooded.
Now the search for the killer is on tonight. It happened in Newark. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Lipoff is there this evening with our lead story. Phil.
And Liz, this is so incredibly senseless. The gunman didn't even get anything. After the shots rang out, they took off, leaving a teenager dead, his family grieving, and this entire community searching for answers and a killer. It's a pain no mother should ever have to bear. A loss so huge, so sudden.
Ask everybody, what we doing to stop this? How many mother more is gonna suffer like me? I feel the pain.
Adelaida Bader is heartbroken. Her 19-year-old son Jamil was working the counter at the family's bodega when two gunmen burst in.
Two guys come in with guns and they pointed one at me.
Jamil's uncle Alberto was working behind the register too. What his nephew did next, he says, was nothing short of heroic.
So he rushed the guy that was trying to get behind the register, so I jumped to the other side and grabbed him also. But the guy that was outside came with the other gun and shot my nephew in the head.
Jamil saved his life, an act so selfless, so him, says his fiancée.
He was always nice. He helped everybody. But most of all, he loved his daughter.
His daughter, Angelina, who will now never know her father. The gunman got away, taking nothing but Jamil's life, but the prosecutor's office does have security video of the murder, and Mayor Booker says justice will be done.
There's two priorities here: is doing everything we can to support the family, and then on also solving this crime, finding the people responsible and bringing them to justice.
Yeah, that's a priority for everybody here. As you can see, the memorial is growing out in front of the bodega. Candles, flowers, teddy bears, balloons. Family and friends have come here as well to comfort each other. There will be a rally here at 7 o'clock, an anti-violence rally that the family will participate in. And also, a $5,000 reward is being offered by the Bodega Association of the United States for anybody who has information leading to the capture of the people responsible for this senseless act of violence. We're live in Newark. Phil Lipoff, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Phil, thank you. Well, also in Newark tonight, a gruesome and deadly crash. A truck going the wrong way and crashing into a minivan, cutting it in half. One person is dead, two others are hurt, and the big question tonight is what was wrong with the driver? New Jersey reporter Tony Yates is in Newark with much more on the accident. Tony.
And Liz, you know, nothing official yet, but witnesses out here were saying there must have been something wrong with the truck, or maybe something happened to the driver. Maybe he had a seizure or something, because it appears he drove for blocks without ever slamming on his brakes. The red plumbing truck slammed into the green minivan with such force it sliced the van in two, sending one half of it airborne before it landed 100 feet away into a parking lot.
The green van was coming out of this block here, and the red truck was coming down, and he was speeding. Blinked eye and it was over.
10 minutes before this crash, and a good 9 blocks away, that red truck passed this man along a side street. He says it was barreling towards Springfield Avenue.
100 miles an hour. And I said, this guy's going to kill somebody. And sure enough, he swerved around the bus, and he just kept it floored, it seemed like.
The adult male passenger in the van surely died instantly, possibly on impact. His dismembered body recovered from the van and the parking lot. A scene that shook the hearts of dozens of people who ran over to try to help the drivers of both vehicles.
You're not going to see the man just shaking in the drive in the red truck, and he just had like a hole in his head.
He was bleeding real bad, and I was just calling God help these peoples.
Witnesses say the truck was going the wrong way down a one-way street towards Springfield as the minivan approached the same intersection from the opposite side, and that neither driver saw the other. And then as you stand here and look at the end result of this, what are you thinking?
Well, how precious life really is, and how blessed we are to be alive. But this is a tragedy that I really can't fathom.
Both of the drivers are still this evening in the hospital. They are expected to survive. The name of the man who died has not been released. And of course, police are still trying to get to the bottom of exactly what caused this accident. For now, we're live in Newark. Tony Gates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Tony, thank you. We're following some breaking news right now. Walmart's plans to build a store in Brooklyn apparently now over. The megastore announcing today that it was not able to agree on terms to build a store in East New York. That site will now become a ShopRite. It is a major victory for unions and politicians who opposed putting in a Walmart in Brooklyn. Walmart says it will continue to look for a location somewhere in the 5 boroughs. Bill.
Also in Brooklyn, we're following a developing story. Police there are investigating the death of an 85-year-old woman. The body of Gloria Cadet discovered this morning in her apartment in the Bed-Stuy section. Family members say when the mortician came to remove the body, he found what looked like a stab wound on her neck. So far, though, no suspects and no motive.
And the search is intensifying tonight for the driver who hit a New Jersey police officer with his car and then sped away. Officer Christopher Rios was responding to a call about a pizza worker having trouble with a customer in Rochelle Park last night when 52-year-old Lawrence Nelson allegedly struck him. Rios flew up onto the hood and then rolled over. He was treated for some cuts and bruises. Nelson's car is described as a 2008 black Toyota Avalon with the New Jersey license plate Z82AFK.
Now to vote 2012. Turns out Barack Obama isn't the only presidential candidate using New York like an ATM. His Republican challenger, Mitt Romney, discovering that mother's milk of politics flows freely here for Republicans as well. Mr. Romney raising $4 million here in his overnight stop. Eyewitness News reporter Stacey Sager with the story. She's on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Stacey?
Well, Bill, Mitt Romney came to Midtown today, and so did 900 donors who greeted him. Now, after that, he came up here for a taping at Live with Kelly and Michael, where they had some probing questions.
He left our ABC studio this morning with a wave after taping Live with Kelly and Michael. And for those of you who thought you'd never hear Romney and Snooki in the same sentence, well...
I'm kind of a Snooki fan. I mean, is she...
Had a baby now?
Look how tiny she's gotten. She's lost weight and she's energetic. I mean, just her spark plug personality is kind of fun.
In fairness, this was done during a light-hearted moment on the show when the hosts were peppering the Romneys with personal questions. There was also more familiar territory for Romney.
You got to recognize that jobs come from small business. We have to champion small business.
But his message on the economy muted somewhat these past few days by the Arab protests in the Mideast, and critics suggesting that Romney misfired against President Obama on foreign policy just prior to an attack in Libya, which turned deadly.
He's generally a risk-averse person based on his business career. So when we look at that, his personality of risk aversion and what he's saying, it becomes a very glaring example of where he's weak.
And as he headed to Ohio this afternoon, the latest polls suggest Romney has his work cut out for him. Obama's up in the swing states of Florida and Virginia, and he's up by 7 points in Ohio.
Barack Obama has opened up a lead, single digits, not insurmountable, but a lead nonetheless.
Here's why even a single-digit lead is significant. The number of undecided voters in these swing states is small, only 5 to 6%. And among those who are committed to a candidate, only 2% may change their minds. Romney's best strategy moving forward, staying on message, like this late today.
We're going to have a president who will get this economy going and put people back to work.
Now, there's no doubt the states of Ohio, Virginia, and Florida are critical to the Romney campaign if you do the Electoral College math. Experts suggest he needs to win at least 2 of them to win the election. We're live on the Upper West Side. I'm Stacey Sager, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Stacey, thank you. By the way, that taping with Mitt and Ann Romney will air this Tuesday, 9 o'clock on Live with Kelly and Michael, right here on Channel 7.
Meanwhile, it was a solemn day for President Obama and the rest of the nation as the bodies of 4 Americans killed in an attack on the U.S. consulate in Libya arrived at Andrews Air Force Base. They laid down their lives for others and for their country, and today they are home. Those were the words of President Obama as he paid tribute to Ambassador Chris Stevens, diplomat Sean Smith, and consulate security guards Glenn Doherty and Tyrone Woods. The president vowed their sacrifice will never be forgotten.
That even as voices of suspicion and mistrust seek to divide countries and cultures from one another, the United States of America will never retreat from the world. We will never stop working for the dignity and freedom that every person deserves.
The men were killed during a raid on the consulate in Benghazi on the 11th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. The president today notified Congress he sent U.S. troops equipped for combat to Libya and Yemen to protect American citizens and property there. And World News will have much more on the president's comments today and the latest on the unrest over that controversial film that's going to happen right here at Channel 7 at 6:30.
Police say they have important new clues tonight in that brazen jewelry heist in the Bronx. Cops just releasing the surveillance video of the woman they say they're searching for. Investigators say she entered a jewelry store last month, asked to see a gold chain. When the clerk allowed another customer to enter, the suspect fled, chain in hand, took off down East Kingsbridge Road. New protest planned for New York City to mark the 1-year anniversary of the Occupy Wall Street movement. Organizers say they will hit the streets on Monday with another round of demonstrations. Protesters say they'll form a picket line at the New York Stock Exchange as part of their call for economic justice. The group is also planning to march to Liberty Plaza and an anniversary concert as well.
The decision by the Federal Reserve to take steps to aid the country's struggling economy, fueling a rally on Wall Street for a second day today. Heavy trading sent the Dow above 13,600 mark for the first time since December of 2007. And the things kind of leveled off, leaving the Dow to close up 53 points to 13,593. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ finished up at 3184, which is up 28 points, a little bit more than that.
As we continue with Eyewitness News at 6 for this Friday night, the Jewish New Year begins Sunday, and police across the area increasing security at temples and synagogues. Will show you why this year there is concern.
Plus, the new, easier way for people in wheelchairs to get a taxi. We'll tell you all about it.
Lee's somewhere around here. Lee?
Well, starting today, wheelchair users might have an easier time catching a cab in Manhattan. A new app launches today that allows users to hail a wheelchair-accessible taxi. It uses the GPS information from taxis to alert the closest cab driver when a wheelchair user needs a ride. Customers can use the smartphone app, go to a website, text, or call 311 for a cab. They can even use the app to watch as the taxi moves towards them. This dispatch system apparently has been in the works for a decade.
The crisis in the Middle East coming at a time when security in our area would be heightened anyway. And now it's even more so. The beginning of the Jewish high holidays, Rosh Hashanah, begins sundown Sunday. And tonight, we look at this beefed up security in one community, Rockville Center in Nassau County. Here's Long Island reporter Kristen Thorne.
At Temple B'nai Shalom in Rockville Center, the finishing touches are being made for the high holiday season, which begins Sunday with Rosh Hashanah. But outside today, a different duty, informing the public that more police will be patrolling synagogues throughout Nassau County.
At this late hour before the eve of the holiday, we're typically sharing jokes and ideas for our sermons. And look what we're doing here today. Really, it's tough.
There has not been any specific threat here in Nassau County, but unfortunately in these times we must be prepared.
Officials cited the growing unrest overseas as yet another reminder that being prepared is always good. So during this Jewish holiday season, there will be more Nassau police officers, both in uniform and undercover, patrolling around synagogues.
Definite concern considering everything that's going on throughout the world right now.
But it's not just this. Those with the Nassau County Police Department have been meeting with all religious leaders here in the county to train them on what to do if their houses of worship come under attack.
We are also working with local, state, and federal authorities, including the Terrorist Task Force and Homeland Security, on a daily basis to measure and evaluate local threats to the community.
So with the prayers this holiday season, Jewish leaders will also be reminding their members.
If you see something, say something.
In Rockville Center, Long Island, Kristen Thorne, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
And still to come tonight, Lee, who tells us fall weather might be just around the corner and a little bit of rain tonight. His accurate weather forecast coming up right after this.
Which corner down there?
You know, that one right there.
I see it.
You see it?
Yeah,
I'm pointing to it right now.
See it.
Okay, good. We'll be right back.
So how do you know fall is coming soon?
Wow.
Well, first, you listen to Lee Goldberg. Second, you look at Baker's in Indiana.
They're
making a 7-foot, 600-pound apple pie. The giant dessert star attraction of the Indiana Festival near South Bend. Bakers say it takes about 19 bushels of apples to make the pie. Now, 19 bushels. If our kids did all that, if all 4 of our groups of our kids did that, we would take a couple weeks.
Look how carefully they were like strolling the crust across the pie and everything.
I'd like to see a big boulder of vanilla ice cream along with it, too. That'd be great.
A little caramel sauce. I agree. That sounds good, right?
Pink and fall, and that's what you'll be thinking this weekend. Yeah. Put the mums in today. We're all ready to go. You got a nice breeze coming in tomorrow. You definitely feel like it's a little taste of autumn as we go through tomorrow, but still very comfortable. And really in the afternoon, you know, short sleeve shirts are still okay. The breeze may make it feel a little cool. Some high clouds around right now. We haven't seen many clouds outside. It's kind of filtering the sunshine. They actually may break up just a little bit just in time for a very pretty sunset. 73 degrees right now. The wind is out of the south. That's cooled us off. We were near 80 degrees earlier in the day. About similar to yesterday. Average high 76. We're a shade below that this weekend, and there are your sunrise and sunset times. So tonight's front is just a brief interruption in a beautiful pattern. This cool breeze that comes in behind the front tomorrow will break up the clouds in a hurry, and then Sunday looks great as well before a good soaking coming in late Monday night and into Tuesday. So a planner for the evening hours. The clouds will break up briefly for a couple of hours, and then they'll thicken again, and then it could be a stray shower anytime after, let's say, 10 o'clock in the western suburbs, closer to midnight in New York City. But this isn't going to be widespread showers. They're actually breaking up, and it's hit or miss. The clouds break up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you have a cool breeze and a lot of sunshine through the afternoon. Satellite finally showing some clouds, but notice off to the west, it's actually a little break here before the actual front comes in. The front looks impressive right now, but I think it'll continue to weaken and lift as it approaches us. That'll be a sign of weakening, but it's about 160 miles away from the Delaware Water Gap, so that would time it at about 10 o'clock. Some showers could get in a place like Blairstown, New Jersey. Now, a lot of moisture was lifting out of the Gulf and piggybacking this front, but they just disconnected at the last second, so that's great news, so that front can just roll by. This system, all the way out in western Canada, will pick up that moisture by Monday and Tuesday and get us wet. In the meantime, this little skinny front will be through by tomorrow morning. Now, temperatures have dropped behind it into the 60s, but we'll recover into the low and mid 70s during the day tomorrow. The clouds and showers should make an early exit. I mean, I think by 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, there are already breaks in the clouds from the city on westward, and if there's a shower, it's mainly east of New York City early. Pretty good breeze during the afternoon, and then cool blue skies on Sunday, maybe a little less wind with high pressure. As this high pressure moves away, these clouds will increase on Monday, and then rain will wait until Monday night. Pretty good soaking by Tuesday. Here is your AccuWeather forecast. Partly to mostly cloudy skies overnight. There'll be a few showers. If you're out for the next few hours, you're fine, but if you're staying out after 10 or 11 o'clock, I'd take the umbrella, especially north of the city. Then for tomorrow, the clouds will leave early, partly to mostly cloudy skies, 75, and then tomorrow night, clear and cool, 44 to 52. Open the windows. No need for AC.
Wow.
So all weekend long is gorgeous. Great September weather. Low and middle 70s by day, 50s at night, even some upper 40s in the suburbs. Clouds increase Monday, and then all your rain gear on Tuesday. Maybe 1 to 2 inches of rain, but it's a one-hit wonder, and then we're back to beautiful after that.
We like one-hit wonders.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Blake.
As long as I'm not one.
No.
Rob
That's not what I meant.
Sport. Whoa. Take it, baby.
It even feels like baseball weather out there. The Yankees division race comes back home tonight. The Yanks, the Rays, they open at the stadium. Straight ahead, we get you out to the Bronx, and we get you ready for the start of one big homestand. Plus, Giants, Jets, prognosis. We fire up the highly sophisticated bank of computers and come up with scores for Sunday's games next.
All the games are big, but this homestand is big.
Chance to move up, then again, chance to fall back. Derek Jeter, the DH again tonight. The Yankees come off back-to-back wins. For the first time in a month, the Yankees hope this is just the tip of the iceberg here. The Tampa Bay Rays open things here. The Rays trying to get back into this AL East race. The Yanks coming off a 5-5 road trip. 19 games left in the regular season, battling for the division. Oh, it's getting good.
I think these guys have overcome a lot of things in that room. A lot of injuries that we've had. Things that we've had to deal with, and they've found a way to overcome things, and that's what I love about this group.
Mets at Milwaukee tonight. The Brewers all of a sudden making a late push at a wild card playoff spot. The Mets have a 6-game losing streak. One of sports fans' least favorite words almost back. Lockout. This time in the NHL, the players' collective bargaining agreement expires at midnight tomorrow night. Commissioner Gary Bettman has said if there's no new deal, he will lock out the players. Well, there's no negotiation scheduled for today, so it is not looking good.
We want to play. We're trying to find a solution here, and again, we told the owners we're ready to play until we find an agreement, but right now they're not willing to do so.
So let's get to the big football weekend now. Both the Giants and Jets in action Sunday. Gang Green gets news late this afternoon. No Darrelle Revis, no Dustin Keller, no Brian Thomas, all out with injury. Revis has that concussion that left him, in his words, in a fog. Jets Steelers this week. Pittsburgh says James Harrison, Troy Polamalu, questionable. No question the Jets are riding high after beating Buffalo in week 1, but there's really been no bravado this week, just work.
It's something to be proud of, and it's something we have to sustain. It can't just be a one-week thing and feel like, hey, we arrived. We still got a long way to go, so hopefully we can keep that focus.
Giants Bucks Sunday, an opening week loss to the Cowboys, then 11 days between games. Big Blue so ready to get back on that field. There's a lot of moving parts with this matchup, but you know, when you focus on the Giants and what they need, they just need a win over Tampa Bay. After a loss, that's really all that matters.
Everything that occurred is very correctable, and it's just going to come down to fixing it, making better plays, better decisions during the game, and so I think that was a good mentality. You guys said, all right, we can fix this. It's just going to take, we got to work a little bit better.
What was the prognosticator's record last week?
1-1.
1-1. 1-1. We did lose one.
You did.
Okay, so that in 2 years now, the first one we lost. It's that time where alliteration runs wild. We glance into the football future. Yes, it is time for the Powers Pigskin Prognosis. Well, the prognosticator's working double time today with 2 games. We start at home, the 0-1 Giants against the 1-0 Buccaneers. Big Blue, big favorite. The Bucs allowed 10 yards rushing last week. 10! Former Rutgers coach Greg Schiano's got them believing down there, but the prognosticator believes Eli and Coach Coughlin have never lost to the Bucs. They're not about to start now. So the prognosis is Giants 24, Bucs 13. 1 down, 1 to go. On the road, the Jets make their way to Pittsburgh this week. It's a rematch of the AFC title game from just a couple years back. The Jets lost that one. The Steelers lost last week. Haven't started 0-2 in 10 years. Coach Tomlin's never lost a September home game in like forever. 5 of the last 6 meetings have been decided by 6 or fewer points. This one decided by 6 points. Steelers 27, Jets 21. At least that's the prognosis. Your results may vary. And again, there's nothing, there's no human element in this at all.
It's pure science, computer.
It's science. Sometimes I lose
exactly
that.
Right. So you don't actually fudge the numbers. This is the computer. You put all the stats in, out comes the numbers right up on the screen.
I'm sorry, I lost you at fudge.
Well, that's a good way to end the newscast. Thank you, Rob.
It's Friday.
That's
Can
it.
you tell?
Thanks for watching tonight. I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Liz Cho. World News with Diane Sawyer is coming up next. Eyewitness News returns tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a great evening.
Bye.